Welcome to the Oneness Movement for Humanity. Our collective destiny is glorious. Let's work together.
Hi everyone, my name is Mit Gopal. Today's podcast is a reading from my book, Preserving Oneness of Humanity. The title is, Who is Telling the Truth? Knowing the truth is our anchor to reality, and without it, life is filled with paranoia. Unable to distinguish between falsehood and truth is like navigating your way through New York City without a map, the ability to ask for directions, or without eyesight. To explain further, let's look at one fictional example. Say your father has always claimed that you are his biological son or daughter. One day, in a heated argument with your sister, she tells you that you are only her half brother or half sister. You approach your trusted uncle in search for answers, and he explains that you were conceived during an encounter between your mother and an alien. Now, faced with all these contradictory facts, you are shaking your head and wondering, who is telling you the truth? No doubt you will go on a vigorous discovery journey. Back to reality. When your personal belief is threatened, searching for facts becomes crucial. Without it, it will be walking on shaky ground. We rely on the power of understanding, a gift given to every human being, which we use since birth to fill our consciousness with knowledge that we think is true and not false. Since early age, two things happens to each one of us. One, an influx of information. And two, through a filtering mechanism, we translate the incoming data into a world that feels real to us. Once a piece of information is accepted, it is integrated into our personality. Let's briefly explore this most important aspect of a human being. We are bombarded with information daily. Since the moment of birth, from parents, siblings, teachers, TV, leaders, scientists, friends, newspapers, heroes, experts, mentors, and so on. The stream of input is endless, and it is getting greater in volume as technology explodes every few years. Businesses, marketers, and politicians understand how our belief system is molded, and sometimes they take advantage of us. The question is, should we guard our inner self against abuse? Of course we should, you might say. Sometimes the acceptance of data as truth can happen instantly. For example, Sylvia was searching on Google for an arthritis remedy. After listening to a presentation by Guru Nath, a Hindu teacher, she not only instantly accepted his cure, but became his devotee too. On the other hand, Joe, who believes the earth is flat, will never change his mind, regardless of how many presentations on this subject he watches. Both Sylvia and Joe are my friends, and I respect their views. Generally, it takes 3 encounters from seemingly different and independent sources to mold a belief, a human belief. I repeat, generally, it takes 3 encounters from seemingly different and independent sources to mold a human belief. Depending on whatever is planted in our consciousness, we act in certain ways in different situations, whether we play the role of parent, friend, boss, philanthropist, doctor, nurse, neighbor, and so on. It is so easy to pollute our consciousness and subsequently our actions. Therefore, both deserve a closer look. A scary part of life is that we do something horrible based on advice from others. Keep in mind that each of us is accountable for our deeds, regardless of how the action was influenced. I'm sure you will not be able to convince a judge otherwise. In this presentation about accountability, truthfulness is crucially important. Many articles and books have been written on this most crucial issue that shapes individuals, nations, and the oneness of humanity. In their article, 11 Ways to Tell if Someone is Telling You the Truth According to Science, Erica Florentine lists ways to tell if someone is speaking the truth. 1. Their story is long and detailed. 2. They are holding the right amount of eye contact. 3. Their breathing is steady. 4. Their voice is steady too. 5. They neglect to blame outside forces. 6. You haven't noticed them touching their nose. 7. They are not covering their throat. 8. Their rate of blinking doesn't change. 9. They are speaking in complete sentences. 10. There is no fake smile in sight. 11. Your instincts are telling you it's the truth. We all accept some basic truth, such as there are 7 days in a week, death comes sooner or later, humans need food, air, and water to survive, and we cannot live without our electronic devices, and so on. As we travel the path of life, we end up absorbing some weird beliefs, such as the earth is flat, humans will not exist by the end of the century because of pollution, earth is only 7,000 years old, or the world will end on a certain date. But it is also the truth that nothing is permanent in our consciousness, as every belief can be rejected or replaced at a later time. Now the question is, how do individuals accept the truth? It is a complicated process. Many of them rely on authoritative sources such as science, holy scriptures, gurus, the internet, and so on. The power of comprehension also plays a key role. It happens through the mind and the heart. Our intellectual faculty processes the incoming information and accepts it as part of reality according to one's perception. As examples, let's go through my own beliefs. I believe in evolution, that the earth is round, and that atom exists. But I can't prove or witness any of them, so I rely on scientific facts. Anything that goes through my mind, it is rigorously examined before it becomes a part of me. At a social level, I embrace the oneness of humanity, consider helping others as a good thing, believe gender equality is an undeniable truth, and trust that acquiring the right skills is a ticket to success in life. Again, it is through credible sources based on my own experience and my own power of comprehension that allow my inner self to be filled with ideas that I can accept with a peaceful and clear consciousness. But I am also open to new and different ideas, hopefully. Also, I accept life after death, not reincarnation on earth. I am unable to prove it one way or another. For sure, after my passing, I'll find out and possibly change my mind on reincarnation and many other issues. There is another kind of belief that comes only through the heart. For example, after being an atheist, I now believe in a creator. I have never met this all-powerful, all-compassionate, and all-loving being, yet I accept it as reality. Why? Simply put, I feel the divine presence, and that is good enough for me. But it may not be the same for others. The spiritual realm cannot be proven scientifically or by rational thinking. At least this is my conclusion. I have met many who have never been schooled in intellectual learning, yet they are as certain as the light from the morning sun that there exists a spiritual reality. In some cases, their conviction is so deep and intense that they will sacrifice their lives to defend their cause in the divine. One thing of which we are certain is that no one will knowingly accept a falsehood. Try this on yourself. Also, we feel cheated when we believe in a fact and later found to be a lie. How do we safeguard our integrity from being hijacked by fake data, misinformation, and manipulations? Remember, many would love to control our minds and hearts for their personal, political, or corporate benefits. How do we avoid being cheated? Independent investigation of truth, as Dr. David Hawkins mentioned in his book, is the key to avoid being cheated with falsehood. Whatever is in your consciousness is yours, and there's no denying it. Just as whatever goes into your stomach is your responsibility. As we do with food, consumption of ideas must be done with careful analysis. As mentioned before, oneness of humanity is an undeniable truth, at least to me, and our future is also glorious. But some will try to undermine or question this claim. They will point out all the calamities we are facing, such as inflation, war, pandemic, poverty, trade barriers, climate change crisis, and many, many, many more. Yes, they are all true. But if you look beneath the daily headlines, as I do, you will find many positive things are happening around the world, as I have mentioned in my past podcasts, and will do so in the future ones. Therefore, you are invited to explore this movement for yourself and to come to your own conclusions.
Thanks for listening. If you'd like to listen to more content on the Oneness Movement, be sure to subscribe and leave a comment. See you next time.